So, hi, Andrius.
Hello.
Um, as I've kind of like already used multiple times, we are seeing here companies that we know for something, like VMware for VMs and so on. Oracle, kind of like, I still think about that as a kind of the box that's running the database, but I can understand this is not the kind of like view you are thinking about. So what's kind of like your view of Oracle, or how do you kind of like see the field has developed from 40 years ago? When was it started?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and thank you for putting it in this way. It's a correct perception. So really, data, it's in the core of what Oracle is doing, and that have been in the past 4 decades, really. That is always in the center. But if looking at the spectrum of the software and services, what Oracle is doing, it's really very wide. Starting from infrastructure, and it can be supplied in the multiple ways. It can be public cloud, it can be hybrid, it can be running on customer environment. And you know, if looking at the cloud services, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, so it's one of the top 5 cloud providers currently in the market. And recently, Gartner even ranked Oracle as the visionary in their Magic Quadrant. And going above, so really, there is a database, there is middleware, there are multiple applications. So spectrum is really wide. And then, if making a relation to what every customer or every consumer even sees, and you were mentioning even Formula One, so really, it's a valid question. So really, what Oracle is doing in this racing industry? And the team is called,
Because probably IT people like fast cars, and they are watching the TV, the Formula One, and buying Oracle.
Exactly, but the name of the team is Oracle/Red Bull. So it's not only sponsoring, it didn't happen overnight, so that after signing the sponsorship contract, our name became there. So it's a result of number of years of partnership with this racing team. And really, if looking today into this industry, it's not possible to win the race just only, having a car, a good engine, and a good driver. So it's not the case. So really, before the car goes into the racing track, so there are multiple data assets and inputs and data sets which are being analyzed. Very complex modeling is being done, and a lot of decisions are being done before the race happens. Of course, during the race, in the real time, that is as well very important. And to supply proper information to the driver and to make the real-time decisions.
So actually, for the Oracle Red Bull isn't for you just like a sponsoring project. It isn't kind of like a technology project. You are actually feeling you are competing out there. So you are kind of like, in the same way, like we can imagine the guys who are changing the tires are actually also competing, not only the pilot guy, but you are also kind of like, you're out there competing and going for a win.
A lot of adrenaline and a lot of action is happening behind the scenes, behind the monitors, and in the computers, in the infrastructure. So that is really exciting area. And then making a relation to organization life or any company life. So that is very relevant as well, because the speed of life, how the markets are being developing, how the markets are changing, for the organization to make those quick changes and to adopt to those quick changes, it requires a lot of preparation and to have proper tools to react fast to the market changes. And we are exactly working in this area with our technology stack, application stack, and as well with our partners like Telia.
When we started, before the live side, I was kind of like asking, so, Andrius, Oracle, what are you going to sell now? And it turned out that actually the question isn't actually some kind of a product, but it's more like, come and talk to us and Telia, because we have the experience how to transform the kind of like data in organizations, and it isn't the box with a database, but there's large amount of open source related to you, Java, MySQL. Probably there is a ton of more
Yes.
smaller things. And actually, your idea was more that let's talk about more about like consulting, training, and
Yes. Yes.
things like these.
Yes. Exactly. So you touched really a good point. So the complexity is really high. You can take, big enterprise organization. You can take a smaller organization, but the complexity is there because we are living in the world where there are, multiple technologies available, multiple clouds available, and companies, organizations, they want to, use what is best in the market and how to make really an effective combination out of everything. And if then, narrowing to Oracle products and to Oracle technologies and services, so as well, as it was mentioned, the spectrum is really wide and it's easy to get lost. But then if narrowing down even more to the database itself, so really there is a lot of things to do. So even to take, the big organization like, telco provider, energy company, a bank. So it used to be that database is very static environment because it has heavy dependencies on the application layer, and usually it's quite static over the years. But it's no longer the case. So all organizations and any size organizations require this agility and changes. And we, as technology provider, have all this available. And our goal is really to sit at the table and to have a dialogue with any size of the customer, and then to analyze what is the current situation, what are the business requirements, and how we can, modernize, starting from the data management topic and even going beyond, so meaning going above to the application layer or going down to the infrastructure layer. So there are multiple dimensions to discuss. And again, if narrowing down to the database, so in our database we have really technologies which support this modern data architecture points. So meaning if organization wants to use microservices for the application development, containerization, if they want to have those pluggable databases. So all that is available. It's just a matter, for the proper planning. Because if you have really a data set, usually it's mission critical. So you really have to be careful how to deal with it, how to plan your steps, how to modernize, how to release new functionalities into the market from your organization in an effective way, and the time to market would be quick, but as well not to sacrifice this mission critical information system, performance or high availability or security, which is as well very important.
Yes, there is one thing I was thinking while listening to you, that I've had all kinds of colleagues, analysts, developers, DevOps guys, just ops guys, sysops back in old days, whatever, project managers and so on. And there is a rare animal I haven't met in my organizations yet, which is the old DBA, database administrator, or actually the people who are knowing how all of this works. So is DBA kind of like animal that's going to be extinct, or are we just like kind of like they are so underproduced that that's why we actually do need to have them more in organizations? What's your look at that?
It's a very good insight, I would say, observation. And it's not only specific to Estonia, like a country, a market. So it's a global issue, or we can call it a global, reality. Let's call it
deficit.
Yes. So because there are two elements, either DBA is very busy, supporting and keeping things running, or it is required way more from the DBA, because when business comes to the IT and especially to the DBA, so the tasks which are being put on the shoulders of the DBA is really not to go deep dive into the tables and
make the indexes
tweak everything. They're asking for some business changes to support the organization organization activities, that the new functionalities could be released, and he is part of that. So, Oracle seen that, identified that number of years before, and already like for more than 5 years already, if looking at Oracle database, it's called autonomous database. So meaning those regular tasks, what DBA should be doing, like, or used to be doing 5 years ago, just, looking at the performance, if it start dropping, looking for some security incidents, that can be done by DBA manually, but no more. Oracle database can do it using machine learning technologies. And that is already available, as I said, for a number of years. So that, routine tasks are being taken away from the shoulders of DBA, and probably the name of the role DBA should be changing, or it's a good opportunity for, career growth of the DBA. Mm-hmm. He can become data scientist, data analyst, and he can contribute more to the, business goals. Yeah, business value, exactly.
Mm-hmm. What's kind of like, we've come here from the database to these unified services and everything. What's happening next year? What are you kind of like seeing where we are moving from the Oracle side? So
it's not that moving.
We have cloud, we have everything. What's going to happen?
Exactly. We have everything. It's just a matter, how not to get lost. I would say this way, and this is why we are here in Estonia. We have, local resources here. My colleagues are sitting here as well in the room. So these are available for any size of the organization. So we're open for the dialogue, and we do it together with Telia. So it really is a goal to sit at the table, and 3 of us, Telia, Oracle, customer, sitting and discussing what could be done better comparing to what is done today.
Thank you.